With almost 170 million doses administered in the United States already, the chatter around vaccine passports to reopen businesses and ease domestic travel has taken flight. But the White House says such a decision would not come from them.
The government is not now, nor will we be supporting a system that requires Americans to carry a credential. There will be no federal vaccinations database and no federal mandate requiring everyone to obtain a single vaccination credential. As these tools are being considered by the private and nonprofit sectors, our interest is very simple from the federal government, which is Americans' privacy and rights should be protected, and so that these systems are not used against people unfairly.
But she did point to movement within the private and non-profit sectors that are seeking ways to return to a pre-COVID type of normal, to refill spaces like sporting stadiums and theatres, to make travel more seamless and cruise liners operational again. But the states of Texas and Florida have balked at the concept, creating confusion among businesses that see this as a way for them to reopen. In Florida, the governor's ban prohibits businesses from requiring customers to provide proof of vaccination, while in Texas, a similar move.
As I have said all along, these vaccines are always voluntary and never forced. Government should not require any Texan to show proof of vaccination and reveal private health information just to go about their daily lives. That is why I issued an executive order that prohibits government-mandated vaccine passports in Texas.
In Israel, a so-called Green Pass is already operational, while a COVID certification scheme is being developed in both the European Union and in the United Kingdom. Add to that the question of international travel, but a firm no from the World Health Organization.
We would not like to see the vaccination passport as a requirement for entry or exit, because we're not certain that at this stage that the vaccine prevents transmission, and there are all those other questions, apart from the question of discrimination against people who are not able to have the vaccine for one reason or another. Currently, not everyone has access to vaccines, and there are groups in society who are excluded. In many countries, for instance, pregnant women are not offered the vaccine, or children under 18. There are large numbers of or people who are immunosuppressed. There are many people who may not be able to get it. And then, of course, there's the lack of access to vaccines in many countries.
The United Nations also asked to weigh in.
We're looking at COVID, on one hand, facilitating the resumption of travel, of trade, is critical, and anything that would facilitate that would be welcome. On the other hand, there are issues of privacy, issues of inequity that also need to be looked at. So there's a lot of discussions going on, but the answer is not a simple one. I think what is important, though, is to try to depoliticize the issue.
And while that discussion rages mainly in the developed world, spare thought for the vast majority around the world that have yet to come close to getting at least a first dose. Shervin Bryceby's SABC News, New York.